What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Driving the Line, your number one sports betting brand, and it's not even close. We have a fun show today. It's Friday, so everybody wake up a little bit and let's have a little bit of fun. But as we always do, we're going to take a look back at how yesterday was, and yes, if you see those two check marks next to my name, we got the little sweep, and so it was nice. Charles going 1-1-1. Seabass going 1-2 and missing the I need a winner parlay. Listen, that's always funny to me. Always a good time. But listen, it was a fun show yesterday, and we're gonna have another fun show today as we look into the weekend. We want to make sure we also look at the cruise play of the day. And so today we're going all baseball, a little football yesterday, but today we're going little Nationals, Phillies, the over 9 or the under 9. We're going to go with the Mariners and the Pirates. We're going to go over 7 or under 7. That's a super low number there at this 7. But you know why? It's Paul Skenes Day. And so Paul Skenes Day, it's got to be a low number. But we're going to go ahead and bring in our crew. We might be a little bit of a skeleton crew today. But let's go ahead and get into our picks. All right, so we got to bring in our guys, and look who it is, the nemesis. My nemesis. No, he's not in the pink. He's stroking the beard. But I'm going to have to give you your 15 seconds because Wednesday, you swept the board. So good morning, Soupy.
Good morning, DG. Thank you very much. I want to give this 15 seconds to the most important crew. It's the DTL crew. You guys are great. You make this show so much fun every day. We all appreciate you guys. And a lot of you guys are great cappers too. I'm talking about Better Days Ahead, Robbie Hockey's, Maddie Ice, and Tony Matola. Just letting you know, if you guys are also cappers, tag all of us. And we will. I like to like them. I like to repost them. So we want to get you guys involved too, because you are what makes this show great.
Look at Soupy. Is he trying to pull the face card? Shout out to you though, Soupy. That's awesome as always. Yeah, listen, if you want to put those in the Twitter community, the X community, those plays as well as tagging us, like all of that has been good. But I've been rocking with those guys for a while.
We all frozen? Oh my God. This show's going off the.
I'm not frozen.
Back. You're back.
I don't know if I froze, but yeah, listen, anyway, put them in the Twitter community. For whatever reason, technical difficulties, they happen. But let's not get any more technical difficulties. Down into you and the dirty. What's up? And good morning, Charles.
And the DG crew, yeah, I want to congratulate you on your sweep carrying the team yesterday as well. Also love that lid as well. That's pretty interesting. So I'm assuming that you're going back out today to visit with coaching company. So excited for the weekend. Big day ahead, big weekend ahead. So ready to get to it.
Yeah, it's a big weekend. It's a hot weekend. I believe that I saw the heat index yesterday at the midday. I think it was 2:00. It was 118. Dude, that is it. I sweat through my shirt 3 different times, but we did go to there we go, the FedEx St. Jude Classic, all for a good cause, but some of the best golfers in the world. Max Homa hit it right next to the cart path where I was standing. We had to back up a little bit, and then he got the relief of the 2 drivers, the 2 club link. It was pretty cool to watch how he measured it out exactly, staked out his spot, did a little drop. It's always interesting to see how the pros do it. But enough about me. And I met Robert Dameron yesterday. Said hello. The first thing he said to me was, expletive, it's hot. And I said, it is hot. Welcome to Memphis. So good guy there. He worked his tail off yesterday for sure.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Midwest. All right, so looks like we were going to have AB on today, but he got hit with the sick bug, so he'll be back on Monday, and so we'll make sure we get to him. But well wishes to AB. So we're going to go 3 wide here today. Looks like B Mills got a question about golf picks. I don't have anybody. It is a crapshoot right now. Scotty Scheffler looks like the best in the world. He played very carefree, very easy yesterday. I know that you can't really take him because his number's too low, but if you can take anybody, it is Scotty Scheffler because he's playing great. The rest of the guys, I'm telling you, he's used to it in the heat in Austin or Texas or wherever. I think he's in Austin, wherever he is. He's going to play, I think, well throughout the entire weekend. But All right, so let's get to our plays today. There is no AB, but we always got to start off with the guy from the Dirty Dirty. Going to the German league today. Give us your picks, Charles.
And get well soon, AB. Yeah, the German DFB Pokal kicks off today with Bundesliga 2 side Ulm welcoming Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich to town, who averaged 4.4 total goals away from home last season. I just see a blowout spot today with goals coming early and often. So I'm going to grab the first half over 1.5 and Bayern Munich team total over 3.5. It looks like a 0-4, 0-5 type of final score. And once again, this is the German DFB Pokal, and it goes off at 2:45 p.m. Eastern.
Make sure you pay attention to that. The time, 2:45 Eastern, but also look at the Bayern Munich play there. It's the first half over, not the full game, first half. So always make sure you pay attention to that. But Supi, before you give me your picks, there was something that was interesting yesterday that I saw is obviously is it Grimace that threw out the first pitch for the Mets? They had the good luck. They've not been playing so well. So the first pitch yesterday was thrown out by the Hawk to a girl. Is that bad luck now?
I think the Mets are probably never going to win a game for the rest of the season. I mean, who knows? I mean, who would have ever thought Grimace would have started that incredible winning streak that they went on? Let's hope that Hawk to a girl doesn't make the opposite effect. But again, it is the Mets. Don't forget that. It's the Mets.
We'll do the Mets things. But shout out to our guy, Raphael. He is in the chat. If you got any questions, he's here probably for the next 10 or 15 more minutes. So if you have those, go ahead and reach out to him. But Soupy, let's stay on your train. Stay on the Skenes train. What you got today?
Yeah. Look at my screen right there. How could this not be just an incredible day? We got Paul Skenes on the mount. We have Paul Skenes on the mount against the Mariners. They are dead last in strikeout rate, 27.9 this season. Over their last 11 games, that goes up to 30%. That's why it's at 8.5. That's a high number, but you know what? You see the way that the Mariners just, they can't hit. They can't hit. They can't do anything. That's why they're probably going to just shudder in the playoffs if they make it. Paul Skenes over 8.5. I love it. And then it's also Patrick Corbin Day. We don't have too many of these left because he is on the last year of his contract with the Nationals. And I don't predict another team really wanting to go through this headache. He's going against the Phillies. Last time he pitched against the Phillies, he gave up 4 earned. And in 45 innings at Citizens Bank, 6.50 ERA. It's going to be a hectic day for Patrick Corbin.
6.50. And the weather is very good there today, going against a Phillies lineup that could rock him early. And so if you have any numbers on Patrick Corbin, I would suggest going on the under if there is like an outs line or anything like that. Strikeout, definitely go under, but the wind seems to be blowing out to the right side. So maybe Schwarber, maybe Harper today could go yard today. So make sure you look at those. We do have a question in the chat, and I'm going to go, let's go to you, Charles. Tell Marte for the MVP odds. Any thoughts on that coming from Cody Kimbrough?
0 on the future on the MVP odds. Just being honest with you, not at all. My apologies there, Cody.
Hey, listen, we gotta ask.
Even I still think that just the way Ohtani is playing, he still has it pretty much.
Yeah.
On lock. The way he started off this season, I don't know if anybody's going to compete against him. You're even looking at the American League MVP odds. You're watching Bobby Witt, the way he has just come along over the last couple of months. I still don't think he can catch Aaron Judge, just the way he's been hot for pretty much the entire season. So I think Ohtani and Judge have those two awards on lock.
Yeah. It's so late in the year at this point, even in an injury. Honestly, it just kind of it stalemates their numbers, and so it in a sense could help them if it were to they do get injured and they're out. Mm-hmm. I think no matter what at this point in the year, I think it's pretty much wrapped up unless somebody just goes on a complete tear that was already closing in. If Bobby Witt did go on a tear, it would have to be an unbelievable tear. But you know who's on a tear right now is Jake Berger. And that's why I got to go with Berger Fridays at over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's at minus 15. He's on a 5-game hit streak of 2+. But he's also, that 5-game hit streak is 4+ hits, runs, and RBIs. He has a 7-game hit streak with 13 total hits during that 7 games, 6 home runs in the last 7 games. He has a 400 career average versus Sean Manaea in 5 plate appearances. I have to go with Jake Berger. He's hot. He's hitting the ball. His exit velo is 100+ almost every single game on average. Then we're going to go to Spencer Schwellenbach. He plays for the Atlanta Braves. If you don't know him, he's a rookie. He goes over 6.5 Ks today at minus 105. He has a 4-game streak of 7 Ks, and the Angels taking a direct shot at coach today. Going with the Angels, they strike out the 8th most against right-handed pitching. And so I'm going to have to go with Spencer Schwellenbach of over 6.5 Ks at minus 105. And yes, if everybody's wondering, I did lose my showdown with coach the other day in the crew exclusive, but have no fear. We'll do many more. All right, let me go ahead and give you AB's plays because he did send these in before he kind of got really under the weather and got sick. But yes, Phillies race to 5 runs at minus 120. We already talked about it. It's Patrick Corbin Day, minus 120 just to 5 runs. I think they easily get to 5, and I don't see how Washington would beat them there. So I like that at minus 120. We've already talked about it as well. Mariners and the Pirates over 7. So a little bit on the fade of you, Soupy. I'm going to ask you that and why you think that might be in a second, but he's going over 7 at minus 105. And then the Red Sox and the Orioles over 8.5, minus 115. Both of those clubs are very good hitting clubs. And so that would be my understanding of why he goes there. But I'm going to go back to you, Soupy. He's kind of fading you a little bit on the Paul Skenes. I know Skenes can get to 9 strikeouts and really go in 6 innings. In the last 3 innings, the Pirates bullpen just get blown up. But any reason or anything that you might feel ill will against AB for fading you a little bit?
I don't know, honestly. The Pirates still, you have Paul Skenes on the mound. The Mariners, they are the best pitching staff in baseball. They are number 1 in ERA, number 1 in WHIP, number 1 in quality starts, number 1 in opponent's batting average. I honestly, I have to go against AB. I rarely do that because he just knows. There's just things that he knows. So I'm going to go against AB on this bet. So I'm probably going to lose it. So
I love it. Hey, let's do a little showdown, inner showdown. AB doesn't know. He's probably honestly sleeping. I don't exactly know what he's sick with. So, hopefully he does get better, but hopefully you didn't make him even more sicker just by watching your take. But all right, let's go ahead and bookend our picks. We've given out all of our picks except for one, and we're going to go to the EPL League and back to Charles here. What you got?
The new season of the EPL does start today with Manchester United and Fulham on the menu, and with not having any current data, well, based on past performances, these two teams do tend to have open affairs. So we're going to go ahead and grab both teams to score an over 2.5 that has cashed in 8 of the last 11 and 4 of the past 5. Once again, this is the English Premier League, Fulham, Manchester United, and it goes off at 3 p.m. Eastern.
All right, make sure you check into that off at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, so make sure you tune into that. All your plays today look like they are early plays. Is that correct, Charles?
Yeah, well, you can say that. Yeah. Well, when you say early, I'm thinking around noon Eastern. So, yeah, mid-afternoon. So, yeah, right. Plenty of time to get everything in.
Yep. Probably during the work day, I would kind of always assume is early just because people are gotcha. Living their normal lives. But that's all we have so far on the picks. But as you know, we have to continue to keep talking football. We have Soupy today. Soupy always loves talking a little bit of football. Yesterday, we covered the Bills and the Dolphins, which I was excited about. 2 good teams. We might only have 1 good team today, but they're also up in the New England area as the other team. So Soupy being here is kind of fitting. He might know a little bit of the Northeast, or is it the Midwest East? I don't know what coach might call it. But we look into the NFL today as we get to the 24 days to the NFL. All right, we're looking at the Aaron Rodgers Jets and the 10.5 number. At first, when I looked at it a little while back, I saw it and I was like, that's a little bit high. but I know he's gone through some rehabilitation. Hard for me to say, but the over is plus 115. The under is minus 145. And so we're going to go ahead and let you lead off, Soupy, because the Jets, they might be a little bit of a favorite. So what's your play here on the Jets at 10.5?
The big thing that the Jets needed to do was they needed a new offensive line. That offensive line has been terrible the last couple of years, and they did it. They picked up John Simpson. They picked up Morgan Moses. They picked up 8-time Pro Bowler Tyrone Smith. So they fixed that offensive line, which they need for a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and they need it for Breece Hall, who he didn't eclipse 1,000 rushing yards, which is surprising. I think he could do that this year. But then they also have Garrett Wilson. I like Tyler Conklin at the tight end. He had a great second half. And I think Mike Williams, if he's healthy, he could be a great second option in that offense. They have a great secondary. You have Sauce Gardner, you have DJ Reed. My biggest problem, though, is going to be that defensive line. Hassan Reddick is requesting a trade. They need him because they have a very young pass rush. Hassan Reddick was supposed to be sort of that anchor. And if he doesn't actually play for the Jets, that's going to be their weak point this year.
Wow. So you're saying that the defense could be their biggest flaw because you talked about a little bit of the offense, but if Hassan Reddick was to leave there for whatever reason, would you move that number in any way? Would you move it down to 9.5 if you were the sports books, or would you go on the under for sure if for some reason they did lose him?
I actually don't, because the biggest thing that they needed to do in the offseason was get an offensive line, and they did that. They even drafted an offensive lineman. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try in the first round. But again, getting guys like Tyrone Smith and John Simpson, and with the offensive pieces they have, this is a 10-win team, or at least an 11 to 12-win team.
Yeah, I looked at their schedule a little bit, and I know that number's big, but I just think they have a lot of the good pieces. But I think that the defense is going to be crucial for them. But it looks like AB is going on the under there, and so he's the odd man out. Me and Charles look like we're on the over, but Jets on the under 10.5 wins from AB. So Charles, tell me why AB's wrong.
Yeah, Jets, they really could lose that first game and then go on the run. Just going over that schedule, look, they got the Titans, the Pats twice, Broncos, Vikings. They should split with the Bills and the Dolphins, Steelers, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, Colts, and Jaguars. So they got a benefit of a pretty soft schedule as well. Plus, the offense looks dangerous. The defense is always loaded. So, yeah, I think they can definitely get to 11 wins at plus 115.
The 11 wins are obviously, it's a big number like we've been talking about, but it looks like Raphael, always the numbers guy, talks about the Jets, getting really good action, 2 ways on that number. So what that means is they're getting a lot of buy-in on the over and the under, which is a really good thing for the sports books, right? Because they want to get somebody buying on both sides. And so they end up winning overall, no matter what the number is. But it's crazy that they're getting so much buy-in on both ways. But I'm going to go on the Jets over as well. The 10.5 wins, it didn't scare me as much when I first saw it. Plus, I got the plus money. I just think that their team is going to be good enough. I love Garrett Wilson. I think he's a very good receiver. But also you have Mike Williams, who can kind of take the top off a little bit. And so I think that he can be a guy that he can rely on maybe for that big catch, the big play, and then let Garrett Wilson, who is much younger, do a lot of the in and out routes, but also go through the middle a little bit more and be that kind of possession receiver. Garrett Wilson was not involved in the offense as much as he should have been, just because he was getting double teamed so often because they didn't really have anybody to throw him the ball. This year they do with Aaron Rodgers. As long as he can stay healthy, I think the Jets are going to be okay. All right, what's up, Soupy?
And I think the reason why we're seeing that it is a two-way sort of thing with the Jets is you have confidence in the team. The people that are betting the over have confidence in this team because they are, on paper, this is a good team. But we look in the past at how the Jets perform. They've been underperforming for the last decade or so. And I think it also has a lot to do, I think Raphael mentioned it in the chat, the Aaron Rodgers effect. The Aaron Rodgers effect. People want to root against Aaron Rodgers. They want him to fail. So I think that's why a lot of people are also betting the under.
Yeah, that's what Raphael says is the love-hate of Aaron Rodgers. And listen, I love to kind of hate on him a little bit, but man, I respect the dude when he is in just kind of his prime, when he was in his prime, not anymore. When he was just amazing. Devontae Adams in Green Bay, it was a sight to behold. It really was. But Soupy, we're gonna go back to you. Obviously, you talked a lot about Breece Hall. Big Cheesy loves Breece Hall. Thinks he's gonna have a great season. Obviously, you're gonna be high on him too. Looking at this play. So, what you got?
Yeah, I like him at over 7.5 rushing touchdowns because, again, they improved the offensive line. This is going to be a great run blocking team. Last year, they were top 3. I believe they were 3rd in pass play percentage because A, they were always down. B, they didn't have any good enough quarterback play or an offensive line. They improved a lot of that this year. I think Breece Hall is going to get a majority of the ball, get a majority of the touches because I think they want to establish the run. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old. And in 2022, Green Bay was a heavy run team. I think the Jets are going to kind of go in that same direction and let Breece Hall do his thing.
Let Breece Hall cook. I'm going to go with mine here a little bit, just to kind of piggyback off that. And my play is very simple: 1,000+ rush yards, 500+ receiving yards at plus 250. When I saw the number, I was that worried me because at plus 250 was a little scary because I was thinking, why is it not, juiced a little bit more? And then I looked at last year's number, and he had 994 rush yards and 591 receiving yards. He's right there, and the offense is going to be better, which doesn't negate him because he will be the workhorse running through a better O-line. I just think that Breece Hall has a 1,000+ rush yards. I think he still catches those little dumps from Aaron Rodgers to kind of make sure that he doesn't take that sack. That's important for these aging QBs. They don't want to take the sack. They don't want to take any hit. So a little dump off to Breece Hall and let him scatter around, I think is going to be very important for Aaron Rodgers. So I love Breece Hall going over on this number at plus 250. Not Soupy, but Charles, what you got here?
I'm going to go with Jets to win all their regular season home games. Check out this home schedule. They get the Titans, Vikings, Steelers, Patriots, Cardinals, and the last 3 are a little bit more difficult, but I think they can accomplish the feat with the Dolphins, Jaguars, and Bills. I think at plus 1,800, that's a great opportunity for them to sweep their home games.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Also, Japan in the chat saying Jets, the last undefeated team at plus 2,000. Little value play there. I think that's important to look at that because that'll be obviously, you're talking about looking at their schedule. I think they could pull that off. They do have some early games that could be
that first game. 49ers game will be the trickiest.
If they win that one, then that could be big. But that's probably why that number is not skyrocketed, is because they do have the 49ers in game 1. But if they can answer early, I think that they could be very dangerous. And that's a good look, Japan. All right. Let's go to our other team, and we've talked all the good stuff about the Jets. We're going to go to the New England Patriots here, and we're going to look at their number, and it is 4.5, 4.5 wins. All right, if you're going to go on the over, you got to play a little bit of juice at minus 135, but the under is at good odds at plus 110. Soupy, going to start back to you again for the New England Patriots over under the 4.5 wins.
They're going under. I potentially think they could have at least the top or the second pick this year. I've said this in previous team previews. When you have a bad offensive line and a rookie quarterback, it just doesn't go well. They gave up 48 sacks last year. Jacoby Brissett could possibly start maybe the first few games, but eventually I think it'll be Drake May. They don't have a true wide receiver. One, Kendrick Bourne, possibly, but he's coming off an ACL tear. I think Ramondre Stevenson and Hunter Henry are going to probably be their 2 top receiving players. I think that's what it's essentially going to be. The defense is always going to be their best asset, but as we saw last year, the defense is good. When the offense isn't, they still don't perform well. So yeah, I'm going under 4.5 wins this year.
That 4.5 number is so scary, and I get it completely. Charles, I'm going to go to you here. What's your thoughts on this number? Is that 4.5? We over the under?
Yeah, I'm doubling down on the under 4.5 wins. I mean, they got a brutal schedule for a team that went 4-13 last season. They get just in their division, the Jets twice, Dolphins and Bills twice, then Bengals, Seahawks, 49ers, Texans, Jaguars, Bears, Rams, Colts, and Chargers. I struggled to find over 4 wins on that schedule, so I'm comfortable taking the under 4.5.
Yeah, the AB's taking the under as well on the 4.5. And then I will go ahead and back you as well. The Patriots under the 4.5 wins. If you look at their roster, it's just laughable. It's ugly. Like, what are they doing? And Jacoby Brissett, like, I think he's okay. But as Subi was explaining there with Drake May, I I don't know how in the world they just don't say, you know what? It might be the second game of the season. Let's go ahead and go to him, because what else could go wrong? I just think that it's going to be very telling very early in the season. They're going to go ahead and go to their rookie QB, and I don't see why they wouldn't. Like, Jacoby Brissett is not the long-term answer. May is. And so I think they're going to have to go to him very early. That's going to play into my next play for sure. But Soupy, let's go back to you here and look at what kind of a prop that you might have on them. It looks like we're going to the defense.
Yeah, last year they had 36 sacks. This year, I think they could get to that number again because of the 14 different opponents that they are facing. 9 of them are below average in sacks against, according to Pro Football Focus. So I think they can get over that 36 sacks this year. And the thing is, too, I tried to find a lot of player props for the Patriots. We didn't find a lot because I think this team is just so in flux right now. A couple I'll just kind of highlight when they come out. I would take Drake May's under passing yards, and I would take Ramondre Stevenson's over rushing touchdowns for this year. So when those come out, I would look for those numbers. All
right. Hey, listen, no shot across the bow to the Drake May stuff. Listen, I'm trying to go with mine. So I'm gonna go with mine first, and then we'll hit the Charles and ABs. But since we're talking about Drake May, let's go ahead and just talk about it. The most rookie pass yards. It's plus 2,000. It's just a small sprinkle. As we're talking about units the other day, let's just go a small part of what you normally play. So maybe just a tenth of a unit, or maybe a quarter of a unit if you want to go that direction. But let's look at the other guys that are above him on that number, and it's going to be Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix. I get it. They're all probably starting. If not, week one, they're probably starting very early as well. But we're talking about guys that Caleb Williams, he has a good team. Maybe they say, hey, we don't need him to pass as much. Maybe. I don't know. But then Jaden Daniels could be, there could be an injury with either him or Bo Nix. They could be behind and throwing up a little bit, and then maybe he gets sacked. I don't know. I'm just hoping that something shakes out, but Drake May gets an opportunity early on. They're going to be losing, as we said. So if they're going to be losing, then I expect us to throw up some yards here for Drake May, and he has the potential. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my plus 2,000 play of the most rookie passing yards. It was hard to find the player props. It really was. Yeah. So Charles, let's go over to you and see what you got here.
I'm going to take the Patriots 0 wins after the first 5 games, with the rookie head coach and an unproven quarterback situation. I just think it's a long year. They're probably playing for more draft picks next season as well, because the first 5 games, they get the Bengals. The Seahawks could be the one they may could pull out, and then Jets, 49ers, and Dolphins. But realistically, I could see 0-5 to start the season for the Patriots.
Yeah, I think that is probably one of the best plays, because they will be pretty bad. All right, so AB obviously took the under, but he also has a play here, and it's going to be the AFC East, the exact finish order. So he's not looking at just the Patriots. He's looking at everybody in the AFC East, and it's going to go the Dolphins, Bills, Jets, and Patriots in that order. It is plus 600. We talked a lot about the Dolphins and the Bills yesterday, both those teams. We were kind of split on a little bit, but the Dolphins having a better season than the Bills, who lost a very key defensive player yesterday, I believe it was, and then the Jets being behind them, and then the Patriots. The only thing that could get a little bit shaky is that Jets team. They could be a little surprising, and they could mix up that order a little bit, especially with the Bills, depending on how that plays out. So that could be interesting. Thoughts on Subi? Your thoughts on AB's play there at the exact order?
I actually like that exact order. I do think the Dolphins are going to win the division. Everyone's talking against the Bills. Everyone says Bills are going to have a regressive year, especially because, they lost Stephon Diggs, they lost Gabe Davis, they lost a few key players, but they also have a good few key players. I love Dalton Kincaid. I love James Cook. I think Keon Coleman is going to be a great rookie wide receiver. They still have a great defense. Joe Brady is a great offensive coordinator, and they got Curtis Samuel, who knows how to play in his offense. I think they're going to be much better than a lot of people are kind of predicting this year.
That AFC East could be very, very good. But you know what is good? Is Matt joining the crew. Matt, welcome. I looked over at the comment section and literally the crew, you are the best. I promise. You all took care of him right away. Welcome him in. So Matt, welcome to the team. This is going to be your best bang for your buck. This is the best time to get into the crew. We're right on the cusp of the NFL season, but also college football. We're going down to the playoffs of the Major League, Major League Baseball, but also the WNBA. There's so much that's happening right now, and we're right on the edge of what I love, and that is the NBA as well. So we're right in. We're heading straight head of steam to that, but it's going to be a good time. But if you were not here, Matt, I believe you might have been here, but if you were not here, if you haven't in a second, we're going to give you a little bit on our picks. That way we make sure we bring everybody up to speed, give you a little bit more. But Reagan, the movie, is the presenter of the Whip Around.
Welcome to your life.
You can run from a bully for so long,
There's no
but after a while, you're going to have to stand up to him.
What did the president know, and when did he know it?
I am about to start the biggest war of this century.
You told me you wanted to make a difference in this world.
What would you have me do?
I want you to fight.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wants to rule the world.
As we're on the cusp of the August 30th there of Reagan the movie, better days ahead, let me know. We're on the cusp of the NHL too. Listen, I forget. I'm not a hockey guy, even though I tried to fake it for, I think, 6 videos there as we did. But we're going to go to who's going to go the yard today. And we're going to lead off with Kyle Schwarber at plus 200, Bryce Harper plus 250, Vlad Guerrero Jr. at plus 275, Yordan Alvarez plus 330, and then Manny Machado. And we're going to have to go to our guy from the dirty Charles. Who you got here?
I got to go with the chalk. Kyle Schwarber plus 200, 2 career home runs on Patrick Corbin Day. You can also, honorable mentions, you can look at JT Real Muto or Alex Baum as well. But for show purposes, Kyle Schwarber plus 200.
Love the honorable mentions. And yes, it is chalk. But as we talked before the show a little bit through this, it was Patrick Corbin Day. So we all kind of looked at that and laughed. Soupy, we know you love Patrick Corbin. So who are you going to go here?
What do you think I'm going? I'm going Kyle Schwarber. I might even go Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper and put a little sprinkle a little parlay. That'd be a nice little payday. Again, it's in Citizens Bank. It's one of the hitter-friendliest ballparks. 6.50 ERA Corbin in Citizens Bank. I would say I will go Schwarber as my official pick, but I might go with Harper also.
Listen, I am going to, after the show's over, I'm going to go and get Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, and Vlad Guerrero, and we're going to put them in a small little parlay, and I'll share that with the DTL community, and we're going to have all 3 to go yard. Very good weather for all 3 guys. I just think it happens today. You can go all 5 if you like. If you want to round robin the guys and have some fun, I'm going to go all 3 on a little parlay, and we're going to make some fun on a Friday. But all right, let's go ahead and get to our picks. Like I said earlier, if you did miss the very beginning of the show, I want to give you 10 seconds or less on these. And Charles, if you'll lead us off.
German DFB Pokal Ulm or ULM, Bayern Munich first half over 1.5 goals, and Bayern Munich team total over 3.5 goals as well. I can see a 2-0 or 3-0 type first half, and Bayern winning 4-0, 5-0 as well. Then we're going to the EPL, Manchester United and Fulham, the Premier League kickoff today. We're going to go with both teams to scoring over 2.5 full-time goals. I could see 2-1 at worst either way as well. So some nice action leading into the weekend.
AB is running with the teams today, and he's going to go to a race with the Phillies to 5 runs at minus 120. He's going to go Mariners and Pirates over 7 at minus 105, and then the Red Sox and the Orioles over 8.5 at minus 115. He likes a lot of the overs today. It's a Friday. Why not some overs? So let's go to the Paul Skenes and Patrick Corbin Day, Soupy.
I think that's all you need to mention is that Paul Skenes and Patrick Corbin are pitching, but Paul Skenes going against the worst offense in terms of strikeouts, lead the league in strikeouts this year, 30% over the last 11 games. I know 8.5 is a pretty high number with plus odds, but such confidence in the way that just how bad the Mariners are. And then Patrick Corbin against one of the best hitting teams, again, 6.50 ERA in Citizens Bank.
I am going to go Jake Berger for a Burger Friday over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. As I mentioned earlier, he has a 5-game streak of 4+ hits, runs, and RBIs. So if there's a way that you want to get a little bit plus money, you can go to maybe the over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then Spencer Swellenbach over 6.5 Ks at -105. He's a pitcher for the Braves going against the Angels. He has a 4-game streak of 7 Ks going against an Angel team that strikes out a ton. But it looks like everybody's gone, and it's been a good day so far. We still got to get to the crew stuff, all that. But Charles, any last minute stuff that you have that you want to hit on before we get out of here today?
No, I was thinking about a stay on your toes live play, but I went ahead and passed on. I wasn't quite ready to give that out, but you definitely want to follow me at ROI Capper 1. I'm sure I'll have some live plays coming out as soon as some of these other matches get started.
I'm sure. That's like the most understatement right there from Charles. I'm sure I will. We know you will. We always see. If you're not following Charles, then you're doing something wrong. But Soupy, what a good show today. What you got going on this weekend?
Bettingpros.com. I do MLB same game parlays on Saturdays and Sundays, and fantasypros.com. I just came out with a late stack, players you could draft late in your fantasy football rounds, and they are going to deliver. I will give you one. It's Bryce Young and Jatavion Sanders, but I have a few more.
I like it. I like it. There was a question in the chat, and I can't find it anywhere right now, so I apologize, but it was to Charles. So, Charles, if you don't mind, maybe go back through and look at a little bit later. But somebody did have a question on the chat today about one of the soccer plays. But some people were asking about my lid. My lid, Golf is Dope, from Trap Hats, I believe is the company's name. It is. Listen, it's a good hat. It goes to a good cause. I did get it at the course. It is in the FedEx colors more. So if for some reason you like it, there's other ones that are the Golf is Dope hat at traphats.com, I believe it is. So if you want to go check it out, feel free. But we're not a hashtag ad today, so they don't pay us. So I'm not gonna give them too much love. But good show, boys. All right, that is all we have today. We're gonna go ahead and look at the crew and what you selected today. What do you think? The Nationals and the Phillies, the over 9. It's Patrick Corbin Day, for God's sake. We have to go on the over 9. So if you love the over 9, I would say go ahead and keep rolling with AB's pick as well, because they're going to definitely race. The Phillies are going to be ahead in that race, helping out as much as they can. But listen, it's a fun show, and it's been a fun week. Obviously, Coach is off, and I've been kind of sitting in the host chair for him, but he's still going to be calling the FedEx St. Jude tournament there. So make sure you stay tuned for that and support him. We always want to support our guys. But AB was under the weather today. He did have to miss out, but we're going to keep on trucking as we always do. So for Charles, for Soupy, my nemesis, that was, listen, great show today out of you. We kept it clean. We kept it nice. And as always, the producer man behind the scenes, I am Daniel Greer, sitting in the host chair. Z-Man will be sitting in the host chair on Monday, and it should be a good weekend. Hopefully, we'll get some on-demand shows over the weekend, so make sure you stay tuned for Driving the Line. Make sure you subscribe to that, but also hit the like button as well here. It helps the show grow, and it helps us kind of the crew to keep growing. But we'll see you all over the weekend, and we'll see you back Monday. Let's have that party at the pay window. We'll see you then.